Hello everyone,
Hi,
Ashwini this side.
hi, Sunny. Good morning.
Good morning, Vishal.
Morning. I hope my screen is visible to everyone, right? एक second though. Let me re-share again. Just give me 1 minute. All right. So guys, today we'll start from very basics, right? Because we had the basic understanding. We discussed about the course content, basic fundamentals. So what we'll do today, we'll try to understand about the controllers, right? Why these are the controllers are available and what are the different role of the controllers we have, because we have the basic understanding about the control plane, data plane, management plane. Yesterday we discussed about it and a lot of Q&A also we taken. So I believe everyone happy now. So before I start, anyone having any questions, any follow-up questions, anything in your mind might be you confused in last 24 hours. So just let me know. So I'll take that first and then we'll move ahead. If no, then we are good. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So guys, I was discussing yesterday, we have the architecture, right? We discussed about the one of the router have the one of the architecture that is the inbox architecture that has the control plane, data plane, and switch fabric. And this is known as the closed box architecture when I have to process everything within the router, within the single device. Means my brain is going to happen within the device. My IO ports means data plane is going to happen within the device, and the connection between the IO port and means the data plane, the control plane is going to happen via the switch fabric. That is also going to happen within the device. But when we decouple these all three things and put in different locations, then it's going to become a new solution that is known as the SD-WAN. That's the same thing we have discussed yesterday. Means the same all concept, whatever we have, that's going to be same. Only we will put the brain in one central locations. Means this is going to be a collection of brains. My switch fabric is going to become my ISPs. Means we have the MPLS, we have the internet, right? We have the 4G, 5G broadband, whatever we have the circuits, they are going to become as a switch fabric. They are going to become the control plane, and the data plane, that is my actual routers. And these routers can be my vEdge routers and can be my cEdge routers. So what is a vEdge router? What is cEdge router? I'll explain today. But yes, again, I have the three component still there. Means I have the control plane, I have the data plane, I have the switch fabric. But when they are going to connect all together, they are required switch fabric, who is going to make a mediator. But they all are in different location. Might be my brain is in the USA and my data plane in India, right? So I want to talk to my brain, so I require ISP transport. So I go via the MPLS circuit, I can go via the internet circuit, and then I can reach to my actual brain to get any kind of the logical routing or might be the control plane information to forward traffic from one port to another port. This we discuss, right? Now, control plane looks a very broader word. Now we have to again break it down in the small pieces. So let's understand how the control plane is going to define in the SD-WAN solution. So you can see this is my Viptela secure extensible network overview. Now, before I explain what is Viptela, what is Cisco SD-WAN, what is the Catalyst SD-WAN, we have to understand some basic things. Probably you have idea, but who joined the very first time, let me explain. So Viptela SD-WAN, Cisco SD-WAN, and new we have the Catalyst SD-WAN. If you're going to hear these three terms, they all are the same. Okay, there is no difference between these all three products. They all are the same. What was the story? Viptela was the company who actually delivered or designed this SD-WAN product. Later, Cisco basically acquired that company. That's why it's become a Cisco SD-WAN, right? So what will happen? Viptela was there, Cisco just acquired that company and then start selling the product by on name. So that's why it's become a Cisco SD-WAN because completely Viptela was uh, taken by the Cisco. Later, Cisco just did the rebranding. Means after 20.6 iOS, right? They have done some rebranding, and after that rebranding, it's become a Catalyst SD-WAN. So all are the same, just some name are going to be changed. I'll show all the iOS how it is going to look like Catalyst SD-WAN, how it's going to look by the Viptela SD-WAN and Cisco SD-WAN. All are the same. Just your graphical interface are going to be a little bit different. So for me, I have the all latest iOS available where I can explain which SD-WAN you are going to look. So even I can show my labs. Let me just start the labs as well. We'll try to do this lab today, some part. So you're going to find once this lab is going to be start, we are going to run the image that is a 20 plus, means 20x versions. So in that, you're going to get latest feature of the SD-WAN. That's the our also intention while learning of this particular SD-WAN. So let's back to the story again. So when Cisco was acquired with Taylor, that was the different version of the software is available. And then Cisco just start selling their product as well. So when Viptela was design the product, they have the one is the vManage, then they have the vSmart, then they have the vBond. This was the initial product. These are the controllers, right? These all three are the controllers. And along with that, they design vEdge. They are the actual routers, which is going to use in the data plane. That was original when Viptela designed the entire SD-WAN solution. So there are only four products over there. These are the control plane devices, vManage, vSmart, and vBond. And they have the data plane devices. This is the data plane devices, router, data plane. And these controllers are going to be part of the control plane. Now, when Cisco acquired this same product, then what happened? They kept the vManage. Again, the vManage is there. Again, vSmart is going to be there. Again, vBond is going to be there. Nothing is going to change in the control plane point of view. Means these are going to be same. Data plane, what you have done, the vEdge is going to be still there, but they launch the cEdge as well. Cisco Edge. This is the Viptela Edge, and this is Cisco Edge. What is Cisco Edge? Basically, it's nothing. They use ISR router, ASR router, and CSR router, and they just upgrade the image. They just upgrade the image, and then after it's become my Cisco Edge router. Means any customer have the any ISR, ASR, CSR series of the router. Any they added recently more versions. I'll show you. Then it is equally capable to do the SD-WAN communication. Means whatever the SD-WAN feature Viptela Edge can do that, they exactly do that same in the my ASR CSR. That was happened when Cisco acquired this company. Now recently, again this has been changed, and after changing, the name has been designed. The name has been decided that is a Catalyst SD-WAN. So now the recent version you are going to find, it is known as the Catalyst SD-WAN. So what is a Catalyst SD-WAN? Are they going to change anything else? The answer is no. Everything is going to say only what we have done. Did just rename the vManage name as a manager. This has been manager. Smart become the validator, right? Bond become the, sorry, my bad. Let me. The smart become the controller and vBond become the validator. So the renaming of the controllers has been changed in the Catalyst SD-WAN. And last, the all vEdge and cEdge become as a name as a vManage. Means still we have the CSR, ISR, vEdge and cEdge. Everything is available, but name has been changed. Now, if I talk in the Catalyst SD-WAN term, there is no vEdge, there is no cEdge. Only vManage, right? vManage is going to combination of, might we are going to use the Viptela edge, might we are going to use the Cisco edge. So that is how vEdge and cEdge is going to come in a picture in term of the Catalyst SD-WAN. But your managers is replaced, means vManage has been replaced with the managers, vSmart has been replaced with the controllers, and vBond has been replaced with the validator. So this is the stage of the story happen. Original company, after acquisitions and after rebranding, the product remains same. Only you are able to see some name label changes you are going to find, and also you're going to find the some software levels. Earlier when they start 16 17x, then they move the 18x, then 19x. Now the code is running in 20x version. So we are going to do the lab's latest version, 20x version of entire testing. What I'll tell, the most stable version in the lab is a 19.2.3 in EVNG, and I will show 20.x version, the 3.6 I'll show you in this version. But you are not going to find any much differences. They are exactly same, but sometimes people are complaining, sir, it's why you are running a lab in the code in the old versions. So that's why I have the replications in the 20 series version as well. And also I have the one of the latest version, 20.16.1. That's the super latest. No other release has been happened after this version. So I will try to show that dashboard also, how it is going to look like. So the concept remains same. Device is going to remain same. Only little bit you are going to find the rebranding for that devices. Is it clear to everyone? Give me thumbs up, or if you have any questions, please ask questions. Okay, great. I can see thumbs ups.
Yes, sir.
Good. Let's move further. What next? Now we have to understand, if I talk about the control plane devices, what are the control plane devices we have and how these control plane devices are going to make a decisions for different kind of the responsibilities we have to understand. So if I'm talking the controllers, so it's a broader word, right? Controllers are going to be always broader words. Means if I'm going to write controllers, so these controllers are going to, in combination of the vManage, they are the vBond and the vSmart. But actually, technically, in this controllers, only one controller I have, that is the vSmart. vSmart is known as the controller. Why controller? Because they have the only capability for routing and policy decision. He is going to take that. So basically, it's the brain of the SD-WAN. This SD-WAN brain means vSmart is going to be brain of the SD-WAN, and that is a real controller. So I am putting 3 devices in controller. What is the meaning? Yeah, technically in broader, if someone is going to ask what are the controller in the SD-WAN, you technically say yes, we have the 3 controllers, but you have to reclassify out of 3 controllers. Only one is responsible to do the like logical things, that is the vSmart. He is responsible for the routing and policy kind of stuff, and IPsec key exchange also, it is going to done by the vSmart. So what are these two things we have to understand? So yes, they are part of the controllers, but they have the different responsibility. One is going to stay as a orchestration plane, that's my vBond. One is going to respond as a, means as a going to just act as a management plane, and one is going to act as a control plane. So you can see the actual control plane, I'm going to say these all are the controllers, but out of these controllers only we have the control plane device that's actually controllers, and After that, these two remaining are going to act as a different plane devices, means orchestration plane and the management plane. So let's understand what is the difference between the orchestration plane and management plane. So if I talk about the orchestration plane, so this is something is going to orchestrate your all devices whenever they are going to come and join to your fabric. Means let's suppose I have the routers. This is my lab topology. I have the routers. This router want to communicate with the controller or with this router. So who is going to make sure he is responsible to communicate with the routers or maybe the controllers? That's my orchestration plane. You can just think in this way. Let's suppose you have some offer letter, you want to join some company. So before you're going to join that company, you have to reach on office by taking your offer letter, your valid credentials. And when you reach to office, someone is going to validate you. Hey, you are the right candidate or the same candidate to whom we offer that particular offer letter. Your identity is going to match. Then only you are going to talk or reach to your line manager, your manager, or whatever they have in the company, right? Similar way, in the orchestration plane, any devices, if they want to talk to any other devices, my orchestration plane is going to be responsible to make sure they validate you based on some parameters. They are going to check your serial number, they are going to check their certificates, and once they are going to validate it, then your whitelisting is going to be happen. Then they will introduce to the your manager. Just think about the management plane devices is the vManage. And then you're going to talk to the your vSmart, then you're going to talk to the vEdge. This is how it is going to. That's why very top level your orchestration plane is going to be stay, and that is going to take care everything of the onboarding process. Clear? I'll again talk more about the vSmart, but high level, the orchestration plane is something which is responsible to make sure you are the right person to just talk to the another peer which is belong to the organizations. Management plane is something that's the vManage. This is the single pane of glass. Without this vManage, you cannot do any kind of the configurations, any kind of the troubleshooting, any kind of the onboarding process also. Even this is going to validate, but you have to onboard the controllers, devices via the management plane. Once you have the database, then only he is going to validate those database. So database creations, your config creations, your troubleshooting, any kind of the policy enforcement that is going to happen via this vManage. So this is a very powerful tool for any configurations. And now this vSmart, again, the control plane, that's for the routing and policy enforcement. That all is going to happen. So I'll again explain in very detail how this functions step by step. But let's understand how my overall control plane is going to. This is my overall control plane. And out of this control plane, we have the three subplanes. And these subplanes have the different roles and responsibility, which we are going to understand right now. But before I move in there, I have one more data plane. And in data plane, only we have the device type, the routers. And in this router, we have the two kind of the router. One is the vEdge and another is the cEdge. So these two are going to stay here and they're going to connect your any branch location, and they are the brainless devices. Means they are going to do the routing, but they have not capability to do routing by themselves, especially for the SD-WAN term, right? So if they want to do routing, they always have to depend on the vSmart. vSmart is going to instruct and it is going to give the propagate the routing for the SD-WAN related. And then they are going to talk to one branch to another branch. They have to build the IPsec tunnel. They have to follow data traffic. And then it is going to happen in this way. Clear? Shall I move next? Any doubt?
Oh, Vishal, Amit hai. One second.
Yes, Amit. Good morning. Bataiye.
Good morning, Ji. One thing, the same thing we discussed for vManage, that it would be responsible for routing and switching, and now we are discussing the same for vSmart as well. So I think there is a very minute difference between those which
See,
you can
first of all,
address.
let me clarify. I never say in any session this is responsible for any kind of routing and switching. No.
So routing and switching enforcement is the correct word, right?
Means any kind of route, there is no switching, first of all.
Okay.
Any kind of routing decisions always going to take by the vSmart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to do any configurations, means you want to even fine tune the routing configuration, you want to add the policy attributes. Okay. That all is going to happen on the vManage. Means configuration, you are going to do that. That's fine. But decision is going to put on the control plane devices and he is going to actually maintain the routing table. He is not.
Configuration is done in the management plane, and the maintenance of routing tables are done under the control.
Means let me give another example. You have the one router, vSmart, sorry, let me talk here. Let's suppose yesterday you joined 2 p.m., right? Class.
No. I'm only joining this.
Okay, this only. Okay, no problem. So yesterday, like I was talking, we have to do the redistribution. Let's suppose we are running the OSPF here, and here we are running the OMP. Don't think, guys, I'll explain these all things. Okay, I'm just giving an example. It's very advanced thing. What I'm talking, you understand later on. Just giving the example. You want to do the redistribution, OSPF route into OMP, or might be OMP route to the OSPF. There's two methods. You can do this redistribution via the CLI command. So where you can do that directly on the router, you can do that. This router, you can do the redistribution via the CLI command. Okay. But if you want to do via the GUI command, so from where you can do that?
Manage.
You have to go vManage and you have to do this configuration in the vManage and you have to push this configuration to the vSmart or vEdge, then it is going to only work. This is what I'm trying to means any configuration GUI level, you have to do the vManage only and it is going to push the vSmart. Most of the time routing related, but if the local routing, localized policy, then it is going to directly even the vEdge router as well. We'll discuss later, Amit. Okay.
Yeah.
Good question. Any other questions, guys? Anyone have any other things before I move to next?
Hi, Vishal. Good morning.
Austin, good morning.
Yeah, so just to know, these components, what you're talking about, orchestration plane, management plane, control plane, and the data plane. So what should be the models of these components? Maybe virtual and the physical
Yeah,
box.
I'm coming.
And
I'm
yeah,
coming.
and okay, and what should be the latest code running on these components? And the other question is like, are these components to be deployed in each and every branches or just in the head office itself?
Good. Noted all three questions. Okay. We talk about the mode of deployment, virtual and physical, code of the softwares, and it is required to deploy in the all branches. Okay.
Yeah,
Any
so, and
other
if you
questions?
can take my question real quick.
Yeah, please.
So this orchestration plane, it does the validation for the onboarding process. Does it do for all the components like management plane, control plane, and data plane?
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, Vishal, what is container in control plane? I just missed
Okay,
that.
I'll explain. Okay. Let me first explain the Austin, right? I was about to explain, but let me complete it. So guys, when I talk about the device type, okay. So always remember, if I talk about the controllers, you make it note it down because we have to discuss again this one, or might be I was about to discuss, but let's discuss now. This controllers always going to be virtual device. Means you cannot purchase any physical device for the controllers. Means we're not going to buy a hardware for the vBond, vManage, or vSmarts. It's always going to be VM. You have to download these VMs, either OVA file or KVM file or QCOW file. I don't know. That's a QCOW file. Let me see what is the file name. If I have the, let me see. No, there is no mention. So you're going to QCOW file like that, and based on that, you are going to host them either ESXi or KVM, or even you are doing the lab in EVNG, then you can host there as well. So that's the one concept. Controllers are never ever going to be physical device. Yes, you can use the physical servers. Under physical servers, you can host this KVMs or might be ESXi. Let me show you another example. So I have we have one of the server, that's a Dell server. And this, see this Dell server, we are running the VMware ESXi. Same thing, you can see. This is a VMware ESXi. Here we are running. And if I log in here, you are going to see we have the vManage hosted here. So this is my vManage. If I just turn on, I can just use this vManage. Else other labs are hosted here. You can see these are the different labs are running here. So I can host the QCOW file. Even I have the Palo Alto VMs. I have this vManage. So this is how you can host, right? So you require the OVA file, and based on that, you can host in the ESXi VMware. So this is the same thing they're talking, but there is no physical device in terms of my controllers. These controllers can be hosted in your on-premises, and they can host in your any cloud providers. Like it could be the Azure, it could be the Google, it could be Alibaba. Here's the old slides, not updated. But if you're going to read the dataset latest one, lot of cloud flavor are available now. Even Azure, AWS, whatever you want to do that, you can do that. And what is a VM? What is the containers? So if you have the little bit cloud experience, so VM is a virtual machine, and containers are like going to contain some database of the any kind of the program applications that is going to be defined here. So if you're going to even host this virtual devices in container environment, that is also possible. So it's the software packages similar to the ESXi I have shown in the software applications, or maybe the KVM. The containers also act as a software packages, and code are going to be configured to just run the applications. So that's part of the application development, or might be if I going to support a database application. So you're going to learn about the containers. But yes, there is two methods. So we are using the VM method, not the container methods. So I'm not that much expert how containers work, but there are some process where software are going to be defined. Under that software, you can just run your applications, and those applications are remotely or might be any places going to be accessible. Okay. Now, if I talk about the VS devices or CS devices, these VS devices and CS devices can be virtual, can be physical. So you are going to find the physical routers like VS thousands, VS 2000s, VH 5000s. Similarly, you are going to purchase ASR 1001, ISR 4441 or 4431. These are the physical devices you can purchase from the market. Means not market, from Cisco. And you can deploy on the branch location, and they are going to basically serve as your WAN edge routers. But at the same time, if you want to deploy as a virtual as well, that is also possible. So for that, you have the again two flavors. You can deploy the virtual routers on your ESXi and KVMs inside of the physical server, or might be you can host them in the Azure AWS data center, means the cloud provider data center as well. And you can just connect your branches from there virtually. So in our lab, every routers here is a virtual router. Means these are the virtual edge routers, not physical. But yes, both options are available. Now coming to the next part, are they required to host in all locations? No, controllers are going to required in the, might be the, let me go here. If you want to deploy the controllers, so let's suppose you have two regions. One is you have the USA region, and one is you have the APAC region. So in USA, we have a lot of branch locations. So you can put the controllers here. Means you can put the controller like vManage, VBond, vSmart. You have the also branch location here. So you can put here vBond, vManage, vSmart. So a lot of branches are going to be connected. Let's suppose these are the branches. So they are going to connect with the controllers, right? But why I deploy two set of the controllers? Because let's suppose this is a one organization XYZ, and they have the global branches across the all globe. Means one is the USA region, one is the APAC region, might be the EMEA region as well. So if they want to really communicate to each other, so first of all, they have to reach to their regional controllers for any kind of routing update, any kind of the policy enforcement, any kind of the configuration changes. So they have the better performance in terms of the latency. In case of this, controllers are going to fail for any region, then still have the backup controller to just register themselves in the epoch. And similarly, if epoch controller are going to fail, they have the backup for the another region that is known as the multi-region fabric. Means multi-region fabric means you have the fabric situated in the different geolocations, and if you want to just latch your any kind of the failover mechanism from one controller to another controllers, that you have the redundancy deployment should be there. So you can put a single point of failure, or you can deploy the different region base of the failover mechanism as well, so that if one region is going to fail, another region is going to take over that kind of services. So this is how you have to deploy the controller. So every site controller not required, but one region, one side of the controller is recommended, and this failover mechanism also should be configured. So in case of the any kind of downtime is going to happen, that is going to be your failover. Clear? What pending now? Any other question pending?
Yeah, this is cleared. So you said in multiple geographical locations, these components are deployed. Yeah, that is for redundancy. It sounds good. But for security perspective, I think access cannot be given to everybody in each and every branch on these components. So I think they can deploy in one of the main branches somewhere, uh, which cannot be revealed to each and everyone where they're exactly deployed. Somewhere on the cloud, primary and secondary DC they deploy and then manage the branches centrally. That's how it would be, I guess so. And other thing is like these controllers will be deployed most of the time by ISP providers directly, like AT&T. Uh, is that true, or it can be directly deployed by the engineers who have expertise on these SD-WAN technologies?
Okay, so first your question was, do everyone need the controller access?
Yeah.
So the answer is, there are two types of the IT people. One is the user, and one is your like IT supports. So user definitely do not require any router access, neither controller access. They just go office and they have to work. They require the internet, they require the application access. That's all, right? So though those users don't have any kind of the accessibility of the routers, switches, firewalls, nothing. But being IT guys, we have the level 1 support, level 2 support, level 3 supports. So whatever the role you have, you can give the access role-based access. If I am the level 1 person, so I can give the limited read-only access of these controllers, even the routers, right? If the level 2, I can give some more privilege. Means he can do read and some basic writes as well. If I'm the L3, I can have the full access. So it's depend on your role of the IT people. Accordingly, you're going to get an access, how it is going to be look like, right? And for branch point of view, any user are going to be connected, then they are just going to use your applications. It's clear, Austin? This part is clear?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What was the next one? You asked something else as well?
Next one, the deployment configuration part should be done by expertise, most likely
So
providers or
now,
data
yes, so
engineers.
when you're deploying this controllers, so
Uh,
these are the one-time deployment process. So in production, it's very rare unless or until you're a very good position like consultant, architect, or maybe decision maker of your IT company. It's very less chance you are going to get this deployment process in the production, because a one-time deployment and maximum time Cisco itself is going to help to deploy these controllers. Okay. But in the lab, while you're learning, that's why you're here. So you can learn how this deployment is going to happen. But in production, it's a very rare one-time deployment. So who is the luckiest person? Then they're going to deploy that. So I have done a lot of deployment, almost 5 to 8 customer. I have done this control deployment in time journey. But yes, it's depend your level of work. Means you are working in the like consultant, architect for the company, principal architect, or might be the very good in decision maker. Then you have the right to go and deploy this along with Cisco, or might be yourself as well by taking the Cisco informations. Okay.
So only deployment will be challenging. So once it is deployed by ISP providers, then it will be easy to
No,
maintain.
ISP is not. See, these are the not only ISP limited. Okay, Austin, let me clear. These are basically can be ISP, but most of the case it's the enterprise network.
Yeah.
This could be the ISP, but ISP is not going to always deploy for you. ISP is going to give a link for you. Okay. ISP is their own network, right? If they are going, let's suppose this is my ISP. This is my ISP. This might be the Airtel and this might be the AT&T. So
Mhm.
they are just giving the link to me. They are not, if they have the SD-WAN solution, their infra, they have the SD-WAN solution. It's not visible to you. But for me, let's suppose I'm XYZ company. I have these 6 branches. So they are going to give the link to me. So just I'm clarifying you. So don't think ISP will deploy everything for you. No, nothing. They will just give the link. They will deploy if you're going to ask Tata Telecommunication or British Telecom on Orange or might be the other ISPs. Hey, can you just give me the solutions? Then they will build a solution for you end to end. But again, they will charge huge. But again, their infra will be different. They will build your infrastructure by leveraging their underlay connectivity.
Yeah,
Clear?
yeah. When I say ISP, I mean, so they have even the solution providers vendor also. They on chargeable basis they can give the solution for migration,
Right,
scratch from the
right,
deployment level.
right. Okay, so let's move.
Yeah.
Sir, and I asked a question about the vBond, the orchestration plane.
Yes, please ask.
Yeah, so I was asking if this does the validation process, the onboarding process for vEdge, like data plane devices, or for all the components like management plane, control plane, and data plane.
Good question. So see, as I mentioned, we work on the zero trust model, right? So zero trust model means you have to validate everyone. So even my vManage is going to come in my fabric. It is need to be validated by vBond. vSmart is going to come in a picture. It's not validated. And vEdge is also need to be validated. Means every component need to be validated. Clear, Shakil?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Now let's move in further. Let's understand in detail. If I have to deploy the vBond, what the responsibility of the vBond have and how it is going to make the communications with other component, what we just discussed. So very first thing, vBond is going to act as a control plane, orchestration control plane, and the management plane. It's very like similar wording you're going to find it, but let me read it and I'll simplify it. What is actual work it is going to do that. And also it is going to do first point of the authentication and whitelisting model. It is also responsible to distribute list of the smarts vManage to all vEdge routers. And also it is going to facilitate NAT traversals and it is going to require the one-to-one NAT mapping for any public IP. That is same process, NAT traversals. They're going to use the one of the protocol that is a Stern protocol. So we'll discuss later what is that a Stern protocol. And also they are talking about the highly resiliency. So what is the highly resiliency? That's again we discuss. If we have the one we want in one region, and for some reason if it is going to down, so we should have the different region or another we want should be available. They can provide the HA. So we should have some backup kind of the vBond available. So in short, if I want to explain the vBond responsibility, this vBond is basically act as orchestration plane and also it's a management plane because why it's orchestration and management both, Because initially when someone is going to land in the fabric, his responsibility to check his credentials, validate them. So he is going to validate plus manage before he going to hand over to any other departments or might be other controllers. So that's why it's going to act as a orchestration and management plane. Initial point of the onboarding means if you are going to onboard any devices in the SD-WAN fabric, this is the first device who is going to check your credentials. And these credentials are based on your certificates and serials number, chassis number, right? So if that is going to match in their database, then only they will allow to just go and talk to your further controllers. Also, once they validate you, once the validation is completed, your whitelisting has been done. This device is responsible further to distribute vSmart and vManage information to the vEdge routers. Let's suppose I just recently onboard this vEdge routers to the vBond who just validated. So who is going to share the information to this router so he can start talking to the vManage and vSmart. So this is the device who is going to responsible to distribute list of the smarts and the vManage to all vEdge routers so they can talk to them, they can build some kind of the relation to them so they can start building the control connection properties and data connection properties like IPsec tunnel and all. So this is their responsibility. At the same time, they facilitate NAT traversals. So what is the NAT traversals? Probably it is going to be complex. If I explain right now, just note it down. Let's suppose I have the situation, my vEdge devices are behind the NAT devices. Means they are holding the private IP address and I have the ISP router who terminating the circuit as the public IP address. So they have to discover and they have to do mapping to the private to public so they can do IPsec tunnel communication from end to end. If you are going to build IPsec tunnel or side-to-side VPN, if the IP is not going to match private to public or means they are not having the both end public to public, they're having the private to public, then their tunnel is not going to build. So that's why NAT reversal is going to come in a picture. Who is going to solve this problem? Means even you have the combination, your one edge having the private IP address, another edge having the public IP address, and between one device having the NAT in between that. So NAT reversal is going to help to just resolve that issue and still you can build the IPsec tunnel. So we'll discuss more on it later on. But this is the one more facility where we have the not direct connectivity on the NAT. So my NAT traversals are going to come in a picture who is going to map that, all entries. So vBond is going to act as a NAT T device and he is going to carry all informations or collect all information which device is behind the NAT, which device is not behind the NAT. If the NAT, then NAT entry is going to take care by the vBond. That's the another responsibility. And also they perform the highly resilience. So these are the key feature of the vBond. Means the main, in short, if I say, it's going to act as the HR of the company. If you're going to join your company, the HR is going to validate your credentials. And after validating your credential based on your PAN card, based on your Aadhaar card, based on your certificates, then they will introduce to your manager or might be the TL. That's the vSmart and the vBond. vManage. So that's the simple. So onboarding process is done by the my Cisco vBond, and that is also known as the validator. Clear, everyone? Raise me hand if you understand validator. Give me thumbs up. If not, even you can talk to me. All right, good.
So, in this components, the first one, vBond has to be deployed or vManage has to be deployed?
That's a good question. So, to be honest, you have to start with the vManage. Without deploying the vManage, you cannot deploy the vBond. But once you deploy the vManage, you have to add the vBond. And then even after adding the vBond, you have to put the same certificate together and then they will talk to each other and do the validations.
Okay, and next thing is when you talk about NATing, so between each and every branches, connectivity between vManage 1 and 2, in every branch I want to keep 1 and 2, a pair. So we should have a public IPs, right, for the connectivity of both.
Right, right.
Okay, that's fine. And also, what type of topologies we will be using here? Hub and spoke, I know. Other topologies, I'm not sure.
we are going to use full mass, hub and spoke, and custom topology. All we are going to do, and we are starting the policies. Okay.
Okay.
So all custom, hub and spoke, spoke to spoke, everything is going to be used.
So which is the most one used widely?
Hub and
Every
hub and spoke.
okay, okay, great.
Yeah. Okay. So, Aswani, anything you want to ask?
Nothing. It is clear, Vishal.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now, next move to the management plane, guys. So, what is the management plane? Now, the same thing we discussed. So, you can see single pane of glass for day 0, day 1, day 2 operations. Means if you want to start the SDWAN operations or SDWAN deployment in your company, this is the first component which need to be deployed. What we just discussed right now, where Austin asked me. So this is the first component you have to deploy. Without deploying this component, you cannot achieve the goal of the SD-WAN deployment. So you always start with the vManage, which I'll show today only how it is going to be deployed and how we can do the step-by-step configurations. So the first thing I need to deploy my vManage, where I can start single pane of glass for day 0, day 1, and day 2 operations. And after doing that, we can start doing the centralized provisioning, policy and template creations, troubleshooting and monitoring. If you want to do the software upgradations, that is also possible. You can do graphical user interface access, rollback access. You have the any kind of the integration with the REST API, netconf, like you want to do that. That is also possible. And this is also going to be highly resilient. And most important, this is going to act as a multi-tenant. What is a multi-tenant? Means the same vManage, it is going to split into multiple vManage logically, and different customer can be used. Let's suppose you're taking the services from Cisco and you're saying, hey, Cisco, you give me the controllers for me. I don't want to deploy in my data center. So he will ask, you want to dedicated controllers or you want multi-tenant controller? Means shared infrastructure. What is shared infrastructure? Means they have the one vManage, and in the vManage, I split in the customer A, customer B, and customer C. Means the resources are going to be split in the different vendors, different customers, and still you can use them as a your purpose of the building SD-WAN fabric. That is going to be low cost because you have to use the shared model, and but still you can do that. That is a possible. Means multi-tenant is possible. It's similar to the like one router you have, and that router having one global routing table. So that is going to use by the one customer. But if I split this router in the multiple routing table, then I can use the VRF. So VRF is just going to make the customer A, VRF, customer B, and customer C. So that is completely isolated routing table. Means customer A route is going to be separate, B is going to be separate, C is going to be separate, and they are not going to talk to each other. And we cannot see A, C cannot see B. This is how it is going to happen. So similar vManage can be also multi-tenant. But most important, always you have to start this configuration. And after doing, you have the centralized provisioning, centralized policy and template. You can do all troubleshooting and monitoring. You can do any kind of the, if you want to do a software upgradation process, that is also possible. If you want to do GUI access, rollback access, programming interface, REST API, and the configuration, that is also possible, and it's going to be highly resilient as well. Means one is going to be one cluster, another is going to be another cluster. And this is how you can build your vManage. Clear? Everyone clear? Any doubt in this particular slides?
Just one more question I have. Here in this SD-WAN, we talk about VPN, IPsec VPN, right? Between branch to branch. See, when with a vSmart, I'm taking care of routing part. So with that routing part itself, I can take care of my routing exchange from branch to branch. But IPsec VPN security feature is given in this because the high security and encryption, something like that, right? That's the reason I think SD-WAN is famous for. It has security feature and VPN feature all together.
What is the questions? I understand. What is the question here, Austin?
The question is SD-WAN has a feature of IPsec, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And also it has a feature of security.
Right.
So we talk about the tunnel. We form the tunnel between each and every branch, between edge to edge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is an inbuilt security feature which is in SD-WAN. So I think we when we have the security feature here itself, see in my I used to configure separately VPN, IPsec, TMVPN, and all those things. That's like separate. Here it's like everything it has all together in one place here.
No, let me simplify it.
Uh,
We'll discuss definitely later how the tunnel is going to work, but shortly I'm going to give an answer because you have to do a very deep dive on it, tunnels part, okay? Uh,
okay.
so we have to discuss a lot on tunnel parts.
Or maybe it's early. Okay, fine.
So what I'm trying to understand, like you can build still IPsec tunnel, VPN, site to site, client to site, whatever you want, you can build in your organization without SD-WAN, right? But
Yeah.
SD-WAN also going to give the same feature. So why I'm going to use SD-WAN? So there are a lot of other factors, right? There are a lot of other factors, not only to just build the security IPsec features and just they have the inbuilt firewall feature. I'm going to use SD-WAN. No, it's not like that. They have more kind of the intent-based routing features. They have the more application-aware routing features which we discussed in the previous sessions. They have more cost-effective. They are more going to be automated way they are going to manage your fabric. So they combine the features IPsec, security, NAT, firewall, they all in the single box. But along with that, they also have some great features, which I'll show you later. Okay.
Mhm. Okay, fine. Thank
Now moving to the next part, that is a control plane. This is the control
Vishal,
plane.
so before you moving ahead, do we have a lab on multi-tenant as well? Because I didn't see features
So
really in detail.
multi-tenant lab we can build, but that is not required. Okay, just you have to use one vManage. Even we split the multi-tenant, right? You're going to get one tenant access. We can split, right? We have the feature. I'll show you. But even you're going to get one instances. Understand? So
Yeah,
multi-tenant
yeah.
you can configure it, but you have to deploy in the Cisco. Cisco have the proper their deployment method to do the deployment for the multi-tenant. But yes, we can just explore in our lab also. But this is just going to act as a single tenant for you when you're going to use for the customer A, customer B, and customer C. But in our lab, it's going to be single tenant. We manage because we don't have the
Yeah.
resources. We can deploy the multi-tenant because if I start deploying the multi-tenant, they are going to require a lot of resources, and we have to split into multiple further resources to just allocate for different kind of the tenants.
Okay, like mostly customer even prefer a single tenant. But my question is that suppose on ISP side we have a lot of customers and a lot of V managers, then how ISP is going to manage? Like, is it by a single pane of glass something or how?
And
Or,
Sony, understand. Don't confuse yourself with ISP. This is for the enterprise customer, okay? Again,
right,
I'm
right.
saying ISP have their own network. ISP is not going to offer you the SD-WAN solutions. Trust me. Even they are going to offer SD-WAN solutions, so they have their own SD-WAN solutions. They might be have the vManage, okay? They have the vSmart and they have the vBond. So they can use the multi-tenant of this vManage and they will create the instance for you. But in that case, they will deploy end-to-end their routers in your company. All SD-WAN solution they are going to deploy as an enterprise only on behalf of the Cisco. They will give the access to you. So they will charge more to you. Means they will deploy configuration, they will manage configuration, they will do everything. So what is your role? Your role is nothing. So basically, you're part of the ISP network technically. You're going
Vishal,
to
it is clear, but my question is that suppose you have SD-WAN setup for customer A, SD-WAN setup for B, like like this, we have a lot of customers. Then from ISP point of view, like how these things are managed, is there any single platform like they are managing it, or they have to log in different vManages and different controllers to manage their customers separately?
Again, I'm saying I understand. So let's suppose I have the customer A here, right?
Okay.
The customer A, right? This is the customer B. This is the customer C. They all have 3 network, right? They
Yeah, the
customer have either
controllers, right?
100 branch, 150 branch, that have 200 branch. They all the customer, right? Now we have the ISP. Let's suppose we have the one of the big ISP here. That's the ISP is my Airtel. Just take an example. We are in India, Airtel. So ISP might be going to give the link to the customer A, that going to give the link to the customer B, and that going to link to the customer C as well. So one is the link, means you want to build the fabric, then you require the transport. We discussed, we require the fabric. So you have to take the fabric, that is the one, and on top of that fabric, you have to build your SD-WAN solutions. So there is no customer dependency in that case, means customer B have their own controllers, then on branch locations, their own routers, everything going to be on by themselves. Only ISP is going to give the links to build your fabric. Is it clear till now, Ashwani?
Yeah, clear.
Now we have a different approach. You're going to
Yes.
hire your service provider and going to say, hey, you give me the SD-WAN solution. All 3 customers coming to him and asking me, give me the solution for the SD-WAN. So in that case, what is going to happen? This is going to deploy their controllers. They're going to deploy the controller for vManage, vSmart, and vBond for all 3 customers. Might be it's a single tenant or multi-tenant. It depends on the customer. If it's a single tenant, then dedicated vManage is going to be there. Dedicated controller is going to be there. If this is a multi-tenant, the same vManage, they are going to give the split brain solutions. So in that case, this Airtel is going to build not only underlay, but also they will deploy the routers and they will form the overlay connectivity with them. This also for the same. So in that situation, you are going to be just totally dependent on the ISP, and ISP is going to manage everything, but still they have to deploy the controllers against your organizations, because organization name is going to be unique for every company. It's not like same company is going to use the another organization controller. No, it's not like that. Unique organization name is going to be there. Against unique organization name, you have to use the unique vManage, or you have to split this vManage into multiple tenants. So VRFA, vManage A, vManage B, vManage C, like that. You have to do the namings. Now it's clear?
Yeah, it is clear.
Okay.
Vishal, one more point you mentioned in the slide, that it is REST and net configurations, programming interfaces. So, can you just give me more idea on this? I'm clear, like for the down devices, from the southbound interfaces, it is REST. I'm not sure.
So REST
And
API and NetConf, right? These are the like next gen, you can say, like automation. You want to do that, any kind
right,
of orchestration that these interfaces are going to use. But NetConf, you are going to see these protocols are going to use for the every tunnels. Whatever the control tunnel we are going to use, this NetConf is going to use to exchange the configuration. So let me give an examples. What is the REST conf and net conf? So you can understand the layman language. So let's suppose we have one of the router here, and you are here. This is your PC. You want to talk to this router. What you will do that?
uh,
Let's suppose this PC need to talk to router. What will do
there
that?
must be connectivity via the browser and or the ports
The cable you need
and
to connect, right?
right cables.
Let's suppose you connect the console cable. You want to talk that. Then what next? After connecting console, what you do that?
I will connect via putty or other
Yes, we required
application
the
maybe.
putty, right? And
Hmm.
then use the method might be is the console, then it is not going to require, but you are doing the SSH or telnet, that is going to use, right?
Right.
If there is no console cable, you want to remotely access. So the method of talking to devices, earlier we have the SSH and telnet. These are the two methods. If you want to put any configuration by using the putty tool, you are just going to put the configuration, right? By using the telnet and SSH device. This is the how to talk with router or switches. So this is the method. Similarly,
Right.
these methods are old and you want to talk differently with the next generation method. Then you have the netconf and restconf. So these are the latest method of talking to the routers. Means they are the browser-based protocol. They are the application-based protocols. They're going to run still by using these protocols. You can talk to the router and you can pull the configuration. You can do the configuration. So this is the protocol. You just replace with the SSH and telnet, and you're going to use the netconf and restconf. Is it clear?
Right, clear. So, like in our SDWAN labs, what is the scope of these protocols?
They are
How?
going to be used everywhere. Without this, your lab is not going to work.
So,
Every
are we going?
configuration,
Are
let's
we?
suppose any configuration I'm going to do here in the lab, right? Any
Mhm.
configuration, if this router, if I created configuration on the vManage, right? And I need to push this on the vEdge, how it is going to push? They're going to use the protocol netconf.
Right.
So this is how it is going to push. If this configuration want to push, this protocol again going to here. This here again going to be here. So any configuration I'm pushing, they're going to use the protocol netconf with the young protocol. Clear?
Right. And the
Uh,
vManage wants to talk with vSmart, then it would be REST.
no,
REST.
REST API is also method, but in our SDWAN, only two protocol is going to work. REST API, if you want to go the integration of a third-party API connectivity, API call,
Then only.
means if you want to do the some automation, you want to do the API call, then REST API is going to come in a picture. But when we manage talk to any devices with
Mhm.
any configuration, that they're going to use the netcon with the young protocol. But let's suppose you want to pull some information from router, vBond, vSmart, and vEdge from the third party tool, like Post Manager tool, right? If you remember, you
Yeah.
have done the CCNP in core.
Vishal, it is clear now. Yeah.
Clear.
Right. I forget this term, but no, it's fine.
Okay. Good. You clear. So moving next, we understand the vManage, right? And after moving the vManage, we have the next thing is the vSmart. So vSmart is basically responsible for the all discovery process. Means any routing you want to do that is always going to happen from the vSmart. That is going to disseminate the control plane informations, vEdge, between the vEdges, it is going to distribute data plane and application aware routing, and also any kind of the policies, that is a control plane, data plane, service chaining. It is always going to be happen from the vSmart. And that's also going to be highly resilient in infrastructures. And they also going to reduce your control plane complexity. Because why control plane complexity? Because they have the centralized route reflector, which is the vSmart, who is responsible to send end-to-end routings between any branch to any other branch via the vSmart. So that's the, in short, this is completely for the routing, protocols, policy manipulations, handling, and the what routing protocol they use the OMP. This OMP is known as the overlay management protocol, right? This is the new protocol, and that is going to use throughout this SD-WAN solution. Clear? So if I want to do any routing steps, any kind of the policy steps, that is always going to happen via the Cisco vSmart. And what is the routing protocol they are going to use? That is OMP. Means similar what we using the EIGRP, OSPF, BGP, or might be the other ISIS. They are a different routing protocol, but in OMP we have the OMP routing overlay management protocol. They have the two AD. If the OMP is running from the vEdge router, the AD is 250. If it is running from the cEdge router, that AD is 251. This is the AD value of the route. You can note it down. Clear? So if I'm going to run the AD, means OMP, the AD is going to be 251 from the cEdge and 250 from the vEdge.
So is it mean like the vEdge is preferred over cEdge in terms of routing?
No, actually, it's not like that. Just it's AD value, but if you have the same route, right? You cannot inject the same route from the two different locations. It is having the other attributes also, right? To just avoid routing group. So they have the T-locks are there. We'll discuss more about T-locks, how T-locks are going to be there. So if they're going to be same route from a different location, only one route is going to be inject in the routing table. They have the various routing selection process. We'll discuss how the OMP route is going to be select. But yes, AD is not going to come picture here.
Okay.
Now we have the data plane. Data plane devices. Actually, we have the vManage routers. Provide the secure data plane with the remote edge devices, means whatever that we have the data plane devices, these are the data plane devices. Every edge is going to act as a data plane devices. Like this is my Cisco edge. I mean, so Viptela edge is my Cisco edge. So they all are going to be my data plane devices. If I want to make any communications, they have to bring the IPsec tunnel, and all the data is going to be processed via this IPsec tunnel. So that's why you can see here, in case vManage routers provide the secure data plane with the remote vManage router via the IPsec tunnel, establish secure control plane with vSmart and use the OMP routing protocol. So again, we have to understand which device is going to use what protocol. So right after this, I will explain. But in short, every vEdge will build the OMP protocol tunnel with the vSmart. Every vSmart with another vSmart also build the OMP protocol routing. So OMP is going to work between vEdge to smart and smart to smart. This is how OMP is going to build. Clear? So any OMP protocol, if you want to run, that is going to only work from the vEdge to vSmart and smart to smart. There is no OMP between the vEdge to vEdge and vEdge to vBond and vEdge to vManage. There is no OMP. Only OMP is going to run between vEdge to vSmart and smart to smart. Please note it down. Very important. Means routing always from router to smart, smart to smart. And also it is going to responsible implement data plane application aware routing, which we'll discuss later on how this application aware routing, data plane routing is going to be in place. And also if you want to export any statistics, how my circuit is performing, how my data is going, how my application is going, that is also possible here. And they also integrate any OSPF, BGP, VRRP, if you're running in the legacy routing protocols, that all possible and support that is your all protocols. And they also support the zero trust provisioning. We'll discuss what is zero trust deployment later on. And they have the different physical and virtual factors available. And they have the different type of the interfaces where you can connect the routers, switches, whatever you want. So this is all about the data plane of your SD-WAN devices. Clear, guys?
Hello.
Yes, Rajkumar, please go ahead.
Yeah, just one second. This what is the use of this OM overlay management protocol?
This is routing protocol. You use the BGP, OSPF, right? ESGRP. So they carry the route, no? Rajkumar?
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
similarly, OMP is the new routing protocol used in the SD-WAN fabric. So this is the having responsibility to just support the routing. Means any route you want to exchange from one location to another location, this OMP is going to be take decision on it.
Okay.
And Vishal, is there any way, is it possible we can connect to the vManage directly?
Why you want to do that? You can connect.
You just draw it from VS to vManage. So I
You can
asked.
do that. There are interfaces you want to do that, but it is not going to make any logical
Yeah.
connection, right? It is not going to make any sense. You have
Sir,
to.
sir, do we use multiple vSmarts?
Yeah, we can use. That's why in the redundancy now we have
Yeah.
the suppose one vSmart is going to fail. My entire routing is going to be dead now.
Okay,
So
so we do routing as well between
yes,
two vSmart.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, okay,
Routing responsibility only by the vSmart.
okay.
vSmart is only for the routing responsible.
Okay.
And Vishal, like, what is the number of count like in a deployment for a customer? Like, how many maximum V8 smart controllers, not VHs, vManage, vSmart, and the VBond we can use it? I think it is 6. I'm not sure. Like, how many vManage? Like, 3 is the
Hold on.
limit, or like how? Like for a customer, how many vManages for a redundancy we can use it?
Showing me,
Same.
showing me. I was about to say, like, you guys are going too ahead, but let me give all the questions. Cisco SD-WAN has scalability and limits, right?
Right. Yes,
We manage
6.
in cluster, you can go in the 6. Recommended 3 in the
Right,
edge. Got your answer?
right. 3, right.
If you want to go vSmart, you have the 20 vSmart. We want up to 8 vBond controllers. So we have all the statistics. Don't worry, probably you'll get the answer automatically. But see, you have the all answers. Any questions? How many
Okay.
security features we have? How many we have the high availability? How one we manage? How many edge can manage? You can see 2000s. One we
2000.
manage. vSmart, how many? It's 2700. VBond 2600. Clear?
Yeah, clear. I was checking the study material yesterday, but data like you are showing is not mentioning
No
anywhere.
problem. Something I'll share that is my database. Study material might be
Mm.
not going to contain everything. Also have something. Na? I'm doing something, right? So I have some all database. So might be for me, I have a lot of database. You asking questions, so I'm giving the answer. Generally, not people ask these questions. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But you asking, so I'm showing the facts where
Right.
the fact is, so you can validate yourself also.
Right. Thank
All
you.
right. So let's start something because we have something vManage, vBond, vSmart understanding. We understand what the control plane, data plane devices. So let's do something about the onboarding process. Let me stop this recording.
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. So let's suppose in this section, what we're going to discuss, I have to take the my GeoX or the my vManage. Then how this is going to possible? So we'll learn step by step the process, how I can take the GeoXs. So let me go and open this PC. Once you double click on this PC, probably you are going to, let me try it. Yeah, so you're going to open this PC. This PC have the password 123. Let me write it here. So this is 123 of the password of the PC. Please note it down. So once I'm done, I click OK. And meanwhile, let me double click on this as well. vManage. I'll make a little bit. Hold on. I'm not getting the size increase options. I don't know why. So I'll go and put the username. See, the current version we are running is a Viptela 20.3.6. That's a quite a stable version also. So I'm going to show you how we can onboard 20.3.6. So I will just use the admin password. So once you put the admin password, let me write here. So initial password is going to be admin. Username is admin. password is also admin, all in the small. Okay, so you have to put admin and admin, and you have to change the password. So put admin again here. So it is going to take. Now it is asking why it's not giving the size increase option. Say leave it, no option. So it is asking what is the storage you want to use for this vManage. So technically we have to use the 100 GB. So I need to select the VDB. So I will go here and select the one and click enter. So it is going to ask, do you want to format? So I'll say yes, I want to format. So this vManage is going to be formatted. So you have to wait. So you have to do the same process when you have to do the very first time. Means this vManage doesn't have any configuration. We are brandly new vManage deploying today. And how we can start our initial configuration. So you have to go and log in the vManage by putting the username and password. You have to change the initial password, default password. After changing the default password, you have to select the storage. You have to use 100 GB minimum. If I'm going to 3 GB, it is not going to work. And then you have to format that hard drive. Just wait for here.
Vishal, can you increase the font size a little bit?
That's I'm trying, not happening for some reason. I don't know what has happened with this.
Okay.
I'm trying, but it is not happening. It's supposed to happen, but I don't know why it's not happening. I'll check again. Give me 1 second.
Vishal, what is VDB here? I didn't know.
They are just hard drive, virtual hard drive.
Okay, just virtual hard drive.
Yeah, one having a 3 GB space, one having the 100 GB space.
On which platform we are, managing this vManagers?
I explained, no? It's under the ESXi.
Okay, ESX. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So just wait. Meanwhile, let me go here in PC. This PC, I have two NIC card. One is getting automatic IP address. So if you go here, CMD, IP config, and this is one IP address. One is like this IP address automatic, and one is assigned this IP. Let me show you how it is going to be assigned. You have to go in the network properties, and there's a adapter settings, and this is my LAN Ethernet 0. So probably you have to click on it. Go in the property. And in this, you have to go in the IPv4 and you have to assign this IP address 192.168.10.10 subnet mask in the gateway. Why? Because you can see here in between the PC and vManage, using this particular set of the IP address. So what I'm going to do that means network .10 I'm going to assign here and .1 I'm going to assign here. So network is 192.168.10.10 is going to be here, means IP, and one is going to be assigned on this particular Ethernet 1. So on PC, I have done it. You can see on PC, I have done it. I'll click OK. OK. And one interface is going to get automatic IP address from the internet. Means this is the cloud we have. So it will get automatic 192.168 one series of the IP address. You go here, check details, and this is the IP address. And this is a different default MART gateway and DNS and all. So my job has been done. I'll go in the vManage again, and you can see the vManage is ready. Let me try one more time if I can increase the font size. Let me try one more time. I don't know why it's not happening. It's supposed to be happen. Let me try. Yeah, now it's okay. So now I can increase. 14. Admin. Let me increase a little bit more. 18. Yeah, so now it's better. This is also. So what I would do that, I need to assign the IP address on this particular vManage. But when you're going to assign the IP address on this vManage is not going to take IP address. Let me try to do that. So if I'm going to do that here and I want to go and assign, I'm in the configuration mode and I'm trying to do assign IP address on this Ethernet one. So it is not going to take IP address. See? So this vManage is not taking IP address. So how I can assign the IP address? So for that, you have to understand one concept known as the VPN concept. Okay. So we have the VPN, that range. If you go here, let me show you. VPN, if you go here, you have the range from 0 to 65527. So let me write here. So total VPN range we have 0 to 65527. This is the range of VPN. So now you have to understand why this bigger range we have and which VPN is used for what purpose. So you can see there is a special designation. It's given that's the 0 and 512. So why 0 and 512 is special VPNs. So 0 VPN 0 is always going to use for the WAN connectivity. Means this is for the, if you want to deploy any WAN transports, so that is going to under the VPN 0. Means your ISPs are going to connect under the VPN 0. VPN 512 is basically for your management. Means you want to do any management activity, that is going to under the VPN 512. REST VPN means VPN 12. Sorry, please mute yourself. 511 and VPN 5132. We have 65527. This is the range for the VPN. Means VPN 511 to VPN 1 to 511, right? And VPN 513 to 65527. This is actually the VPN that is known as the LAN VPN, also known as the service VPN. Clear, everyone? So this is my LAN VPN, this is my service VPN. So any VPN range you have 0 to 65527, that's 0 is for the WAN, 512 for the management. That's predefined. You cannot use for the LAN. This VPN means in this topology, any device going toward the WAN. Let's suppose this link is going toward the WAN. This link is going toward the WAN. This link is going toward that. All is going to under the VPN 0. But Rajkumar, we need to configure it. It's not already configured. VPN range are available, but VPN we have to configure. But if I want to do management, let's suppose I want to take the management text of this particular vManage. So this is going to part of the VPN 512. I want to integrate the LAN on this router. Then it is going to be VPN 1 to 511 or 513 to 65527. This is clear to everyone. VPN, why you using the VPN? And these VPN are equivalent to VRF. Means VRF routes are not going to visible another VRF routes. Similarly, here VPN routes are not going to visible to another VPN routes. Is it clear, everyone? Yes, no, maybe. Haswani happy. What others? Amit also happy. Good. Shadik. Okay, Ajay. Good, guys. Chalo. So I have to get the management connectivity. I have to get the management connectivity from this PC. So if I want to configure any interfaces, I need to go in the VPNs. So right now I cannot go in the VPN 0 because it's for the WAN, but we are doing something for the management. So I use the VPN 512, then I can go and configure the interfaces. It's not a LAN even. So I'll clear the screen. And after that, I'll go here and I'll go in the VPN 512 and I'll go in the interface. And what is my interface? This interface is ETH0. Sorry, ETH1, not 0. ETH1. And I'll put no shut. and give the IP address 192.168.10.1/24, and description I can put here. We have description or not? Yeah, we have description. Right, and put the, if you want to see the configuration, what configuration you have done before commit, you can run the command show config. So it is going to show you the what configuration you have done. So we created the VPN 512. This is the interface. This description we have put it here, and then we add the IP address and then no shut. Now the configuration looks good, so I can commit here. So my commit always. So if you do any configuration on the any vEdge router, cEdge router, or met with the controller, you have to make sure you are going to do the commit part. If you're not going to do the commit part, your work is not going to be happen. So let's commit. I'll end it. What next? The next step, you can just go and run the configuration. Show run. So you're going to find this configuration has been done, and that is a part of VPN 512. So if I go again in the PC and try to ping this IP address, just go here and try to ping this IP address 192.168.10.1. Should be reachable. Just wait. Yeah, it's pinging, right? So now I have the point-to-point reachability, and I'm able to ping from this PC to this vManage IP address. What next? So I have the CLI, but I have to take the GUI. So once my point-to-point link has been established, I can go here in my PC. I can open the browser, and I can take the GUI access as well. Just wait. So I'll go here, and I'll just go here and type HTTPS, and I have to give the IP address 192.168.10.1. So I'll put enter. So you see, we have the some warning, your connection is not private, attacker might. So just ignore it because we're in the lab, and just go and proceed with that. So once you are going to do that, you're going to find nicely vManage dashboard. There is Cisco vManage dashboard, right? And here you have to put your username, that's the admin. And you have to put the password as well, that I define the admin, and you are good to go in the vManage world. So welcome to vManage world, and now you have the access of this vManage. And
For geo access, have you configured somewhere for this?
no, only it's a in this particular vManage, the all services are running. Let me show you. Show NMS status. Sorry. Request NMS status. All status.
By default, CLI will be there. So
GUI also by default, you make sure your NMS application server is running. If you stop this, your GUI is not going to work. So by default, when you start, it is going to be enabled. GUI as well. Means HTTPS application is enabled. NMS server, you can see here. So if you just disable it, your GUI will stop going to work. So if sometimes your GUI is not working and you find this is in waiting state, so you have to wait. So when you start very first time your vManage, you have to wait 10 to 15 minutes. So just make sure your application is fully functional. So if you want to check whether my application is working or not, so ideally you have to wait 10 to 15, even sometimes it's become true, but it's still not working because the daemons are very large. So take time to sync up. So idle, when you start the vManage, at least 10 minutes you have to wait. Then your GUI is only going to work. CLI is going to work immediately, but for GUI, it's required time.
Maybe all these options will show when you download that OVA file, and while installing that mandatory fields, it will be
No,
asking.
it's not like you just have to OVA file. You have to just plug and play OVA file. Already everything is there. You have to just turn on, you have to host OVA file and turn on that.
Okay. So this option when you go to enable and disable, because I didn't see this.
Yeah, you can
In
just
the
disable. You have the command say like you want to do that request NMS and you want to like there is like application server, you can see. If you
okay.
stop, you can stop it. Here is the command, no? Everything is there. If you want to stop, you can stop it. If you want to restart, you can restart it. You can
Okay.
just want to do any other thing, software and all that also. A lot of options are available, but you don't have to do these all things. By default, it's enable, okay?
Okay. Got it. I was actually expecting that you will show us from the scratch downloading, starting from downloading OVF file and
No, you don't have to think that much, okay? You just get the AV file, every services are already there. You
okay.
just have to know how to troubleshoot if some certain issue is going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have this, and this is the vManage. And if you want to show you the software, this is a repository. So where it is, devices. So we have to onboard one by one. Software already we know, like we can just go here and check the show version. It is going to show the software. GUI, I need to check. It should show somewhere. But here's the version for the 20.3.6 we are using here. And if I want to just start onboarding the process of the controllers, so we have to understand how my root CA is going to be there, right? How my root CA is going to be there. Still, it's down. So I need to configure my root CA. And after configuring my root CA, I need to start building the all certificate process for all these devices. And they are going to authenticate to each other. And then only my onboarding is going to happen. So we have to do these all steps because we have to start doing the fresh certification part. So we have to go here and we have to start adding the controllers, right? Now we have the vManage. So from here, I can add only vBond. So without vManage, I cannot add the vBond and the vSmart. Even I have the vBond, I cannot play with without vManage. That's why the first thing you have to onboard, that is your vManage. Once you have the vManage, you have to go and do other things as well, whatever you want to do that. Make sense? So today we done the just basic lab where we get the GUIs of the vManage. But in next class, we have to do the certification process, all of the controllers, and we build this control plane in the first half. And second half, we will try to understand all tunnels, how it is going to build, how the control connection is going to build. And along with that, we'll try to integrate the ISP with the branch locations as well. And we'll try to see how my WAN transport VPN 0 is going to be integrated. Clear? So for today, I believe it's okay, right? Because already we have done discussion a lot in last 1.5 hours. So now I'll open the session for the questions. If you have anything, any doubt, any other things you have in mind you want to discuss, please discuss with me. Because I don't want to talk new things today.
Okay. When you talk about root CA in the lab, I see there is a separate router which you have deployed. So in real time, certificate part, how it will be? Do we need to go to GoDaddy or some other vendor to purchase certificates for license, or again Cisco itself?
Cisco itself. We don't have to go, to be honest, too much in the other vendors because we have the automated process here. Let me show you. I'll explain these all process in next step, next class. So, but let me show you quickly. So if I go see, we have the Cisco automated process available, Cisco recommended, but you want to use DigiCerts, manual, enterprise, all option is available. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll show you this all, how it is going to happen. I'll explain the role of the root CA as well, why root CA is using.
And every recording of these sessions, what we are having, starting from last week. So how we are going to access these recordings, Vishal?
You just have to reach out on this number. Just drop the message, okay? The support number, okay? He or she will provide the access if you not have already, okay?
Okay, Abhishek. Huh?
Sir, I've dropped one question in the chat box.
Okay, Ajay. Okay, let me take your questions. 1 minute, Ajay, no?
And Vishal, it's not like by default the recording of the session are available to us because see,
By default, it is
we
going to available, Ashwani. What happened? This recordings happen on the Zoom, okay? And this is the cloud-based recording. So still, when I finish the class, it take 8 to 12 hours to complete the recording in the Zoom portal because it's a very long recording, right? So after that, team download from there and they upload in your portals or might be drive. So that is going to be automatic. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to ask. Once you have the access of the folder, you will get automatically on daily basis. Means today class finished, tomorrow or might be today evening you will get that. Make sense, Aswani?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let me take the Ajay question. Ajay is asking, regardless of the mode, MPLS or IPsec over ILL, Internet Service Providers we have, VPN 0 will only use for the WAN side. And yes, that's correct. Means regardless of the whatever the ILL we have, whatever the MPLS we have, right? Internet lease line, MPLS, 4G, broadband, whatever transport, regardless of what transport you have, if you have the WAN, it is always going to be VPN 0. If we have the management, it is going to 512. WAN is equal to VPN 0. Service LAN means service VPN, it is going to be between 51112 and then 65527. This is the range. Clear?
Yes.
Chalo, so I believe we are good today. Let's meet in next week and do your revisions. Okay, guys?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
sir.
everyone. Bye-bye. Take
And
care.
Vishal,
bye-bye.
just a question.
Yes, please.
Do I need to join afternoon session?
Yes, yes, please join. Please join.
Okay.
Please join. Okay.
I didn't get the link.
You'll get. Okay. You'll get. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you
Have a
ask the
nice
same
day.
number where you get this link. They will give
Oh,
the link. Okay.
sure.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.